Yeah, I like to grow a garden, and I heard about the biodynamic agriculture techniques, and it drew me right in immediately because it's a closed farm system. Basically, you try to keep all off-farm inputs to a minimum. So we have our own livestock to produce our fertility, and we rotationally graze, and we collect up all the manure from our pigs, chickens, and cows and compost it. To me, that was it, because I had a problem. I figured, what were you gonna do to fertilize your crops? You had to buy junk out of a bag. What was that about? And I was like, I don't want to eat that stuff. So when I heard about biodynamics, I had to see if it worked. And that's taken the last 20 plus years, and I think it works great. I personally believe that when people put the biodynamic food in their mouth, it hits different parts of their body in different ways. It tastes different. It's a full body experience eating our food. And I think people realize that and feel it pretty quickly. So I definitely think that has helped us over the years. Once people try it, they're like, they come back for more.
Welcome back to Cosmic Apple Gardens in Victor, Idaho. We can't say enough about this garden right now. It is where it should be. We are getting squashes, turnips, radishes, and everybody's favorite, of course, the lovely tomato. So the first thing we're going to do today is deal with our basil. We're going to make a basil oil with our Vitamix blender. You don't have to have a Vitamix, but these things really get it done. What we're going to do is we're going to start out with a high heat oil. You can use canola. This is a grapeseed oil. Into a pan and get it hot. That is about 1 cup. Start there. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull all these basil leaves apart here and get them into our blender. You can have a little bit of stemage, it's okay. You can rip through this really fast. I like to take off the tops like this and just snap them. We're going to get our ice bath ready. This is kind of essential. Like I said, having everything ready to go. Little sack of ice. Into the water, bowl in. So now we're going to check our oil again here. You can use a thermometer if you want. Go like 250. Our oil is ready. It's popping hot. All right, lid on. Put your hand there. Make sure that this is on low. Now you want to go up in speed and blast it. Look at that beautiful color. When you stop seeing little pieces of green in there, it's ready. This thing really does its job. Okay, that was loud. So now what we're gonna do is get that really fast into our cold metal bowl. The color on that is amazing. So what you're gonna do is start whisking immediately. And you just wanna whisk this for, till it's cold. So for this batch, 2 minutes of whisking. And you're gonna see as it starts to cool, the viscosity changes. That's when you start to know that it's really happening in there. All right, so what we have now is our basil oil, nice and cool. And pour that baby right in there. What I like to do is let it settle in the fridge for 2 to 3 days. After a couple days is just drain that off. And as the oil comes out, you can start to see a little bit of particle come out of the container. That's when you stop, and that's the finished product. I love making vinaigrettes. Instead of doing like a regular oil, a canola oil, or even an olive oil, switch this for that, and you're gonna be surprised at the depth of flavor in your vinaigrettes. We're gonna do a zucchini, or just call it a raw vegetable carpaccio. Mostly squashes, but we got some turnips and radishes in there. Well, we got a sweet onion here, and we're gonna go pretty fine on these guys here. So real small, plus we're gonna macerate this with a little bit of salt, pepper, and olive oil. 1/3 cup of raw sweet onion. Then we're gonna work on our carrots. These are right here from the farm. They're so sweet and delicious. We're just gonna julienne these guys really quick. Not too quick, so you cut your fingers off your body. Eat these guys. Oh, so good. It's just a carrot, you tell yourself. It's not just a carrot though. It's a cosmic carrot. And just get a little blast on them. Now we're gonna do, I got a little piece of celery. Make little strips like so. And chop these guys up too. Some Meyer lemon, olive oil. It's delicious. Ooh, look at that. It's a little fleur de sel. And while we're screwing around with all the other vegetables here, this stuff is gonna have time just to soften. It's gonna pull a lot of the water out of it, and it's gonna mix with the oil, and it's gonna be almost like a sauce on the top of this. These English peas, the shelling peas, these things are so awesome right now. I don't even wanna cook them. So first of all, I'm just gonna shell them in here. Then we're gonna smash them and marinate them. We're just gonna take the back of a knife and smash them with our hands. All right, so after we beat up the peas, we're gonna go back into this bowl. We're just gonna go right on top with a little bit of the zest. So the zest is a great way to add that lemon flavor without killing your peas. Secondly, we're gonna add a little bit more of our olive oil here, our Meyer lemon olive oil, just a touch, teaspoon. Now we're gonna hit it with some salt and pepper, just like so. So peas, mirepoix, set aside. All right, this is where the fun starts. Make that thing pretty thin. Now for our yellows. The Zephyr, such a beautiful squash. Now we're gonna get into this funky little fella. What I like to do with these guys is just cut them into quarters, and then we can deal with it a little bit easier. All right, so now we're gonna clean up the board and start arranging here. Kind of color coordinate them a little bit, you know, get all crazy. Move them different ways, this and that. Put a couple here, put a couple there. You can play with your food. You wanna have seasoning directly onto the faces of these guys, because what it's gonna do is the salt and the oil is really, it's gonna start breaking down that zucchini so it's not just raw. So what we're gonna start with is a little bit of our oil here and just drizzle that on there. Because we do have oil in the other ingredients, so we don't want too much. And be careful with this stage. You want to just kind of evened out over all of them. Radish and turnip. I'm going to go a little bit thinner on these guys just to have a bit of different texture. Now we're just going to place these guys where they fall. Really gets that red that the eye kind of is attracted to. Just blast this guy up with a little bit of pepper. I love spicy arugula. Oh, the smell, peppery, beautiful. And I'm just gonna kind of drizzle that, make it rain arugula. Then we're gonna go on with our mirepoix here. You can do this with your hands, or you can stick a spoon in there. Go high and just let it fall where it may. I'm going all in. Now we're gonna go on with our peas. A little hither and thither. Just a little bit of our basil oil. And we're just gonna go just a little bit on there. Just drizzle. And then, of course, some of our beautiful balsamico. But it's gonna give this salad the acidity that it likes and that it wants and deserves. White truffle oil. Just drizzle, not even a teaspoon on there. A little goes a long way, so be super sparing. Now to finish our dish, we're gonna go in with just a shave of Parmesan. So here's our final dish. This is a Cosmic Apple Gardens vegetable carpaccio. We've got fresh crushed peas, zucchini, squash, radishes and turnips, finished with Parmesan and balsamico. We're gonna do zucchini fritter, and I'd like to say a little something about this dish. One of the first times I came to Cosmic Apple Gardens, I saw Dale in the kitchen cooking for the CSA members, and she was making this dish, and it was, I went in there, I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. And she's like, oh no, it can't be that good, you're a chef. I'm like, that is ridiculous, because when something's good, it doesn't matter who you are, or where you're from. If it's delicious, go for it. So let's get going on Dale's cosmic apple, zucchini, and squash fritters. We're gonna add a little carrot in there, and I'm not sure if Dale's okay with me deviating from her recipe, but these are her carrots. And I'm actually gonna chop a little bit of onion that we had left over from our last dish, the mirepoix. We're gonna go all in this cloth here. We're gonna get our grater. We're gonna go on the big size of the grater. Got a little green, little yellow in there. A little cute summer squash as well. We're gonna finish with our carrots. I'm gonna move this guy up to the board just to get a little salt on him. What I like to do is just kind of lay them flat. You wanna expose the surface area of the vegetable here. So we're just do a little bit of salt. And that salt is gonna pull the moisture out of these squash and onion and carrot. Get this guy up like so, and I'm gonna drain it right here. You can see how much liquid comes out of there. How's that look? Hold on. Get that. Oh. So before we add the vegetables, the strained vegetables here to this, we're gonna make a base. We're gonna start with an egg in the bowl. Beautiful farm fresh egg. We're gonna go, I got a little bit of milk here. 2 tablespoons. And I'm also gonna go in with a little bit of chopped garlic to that from right here. Just got harvested. Some of the most beautiful garlic anywhere. We're just gonna take the garlic and smash it. Give it a little rough chop here. In we go. This is a little AP flour. For all you gluten-free beauties out there, you can do any sort of flour that you're comfortable with, rice flour. So we're probably about 3 tablespoons there. Kind of like a little loose pancake batter. So just like that. And as always, we season our bases, because when you have a good seasoned base, you have a good finished product. A little bit of salt. So we're gonna go in 3 tablespoons, I would say, of Parmigiano. Stir that in quickly, don't stir it too much. Now we're gonna add our vegetables. That's beautiful. And we're just gonna stir that around just till it's incorporated. We're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to this, just to loosen it, to enrich in it as well. About 1.5 teaspoons. I do like to let this one rest for, you can let it rest up to 15 minutes if you want, but for now, it's gonna sit aside for about 5 minutes. We're gonna make this little quick salsa, if you will. And we're gonna just do a rough chop here. Nothing crazy. Want them kind of a little bit bigger, just to stand up to the fritter. I mean, we wait all year long for these guys here, and it's so nice when you finally get a hold of them. We're just gonna season that with a little bit of olive oil. Not too much, because we're also gonna hit it with a little bit of our basil oil. Some pepper. And I wanna do just a touch of our balsamic, teaspoon. I'm also gonna hit it with just a small amount of fresh lemon juice. And I wanna kick just a little bit of garlic in this guy, not even a full clove. I'm gonna go really thin instead of a chop. Now for our final ingredient would be a little chiffonade of basil. Just real rough, rustic. Little spoon to stir around. I mean, look at that. I mean, you cannot beat that. So now let's get started on our fritters. What I'm gonna do for this dish is we're gonna do a combination of olive oil and butter, because that's how Dale did it. And this is a good, I would say 2 tablespoons of butter. So when you're cooking with butter and olive oil, you're gonna wait until you can see all the bubbles right now. So as soon as those bubbles start to disappear, that's when you want to start adding your ingredients. We're not going to overcrowd our pan here. So what you want to see here is a little bit of brown and then some bubbles kind of coming through the top of the fritter. And these guys are ready to flip, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, perfect, beautiful brown. I like my fritters on a little bed of greens. So what we're gonna do here is just chop up some of our arugula and put it right down in the center there. And we're just gonna hit it with a little bit of the basil oil, just a little bit of fleur de sel in there, some pepper. Put our hot fritters right up on top of our arugula and tomatoes. And I'm just gonna dress 3 of these guys with a couple leaves of this beautiful gravlax. And salmon loves a little creme fraiche. And now we're gonna finish with our tomatoes. We're gonna kind of slide some of that right down in the center there. And now I'm just gonna kind of hand tear some basil. So here we have Dale's Cosmic Apple zucchini carrot fritters, little smoked salmon creme fraiche, and a beautiful tomato salad to finish with a little bit of arugula.
Wow.
Yeah, crush it. It's fresh and light.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch to see how you made that one.
Oh, so easy.
And the squash is raw?
Everything's raw. Everything's raw, yeah.
Cool.
All right, no more excuses. Zucchini's on the menu. Eat it up, buy it up. Support these guys and all that they do.
All right.
We love them. And we love our zucchini.
Thank you.
Hey, kitty.